Afternoon. Welcome back to the ETF Inspector. Today is Thursday, May 1st. As you can see, it's a little after 5:30 in the afternoon, and this will be my second video ever. And before we start digging in, I kind of went over the last video and wanted to talk about some things that I skipped over a little too quickly, and then kind of have a little bit of a surprise, a big change already after one video. So for starters, when I say ETF, I just assume anybody who's going to watch this already knows and knows more than I do about things. But just in case you're new to investing in the stock market and funds and options, right? An ETF is an exchange traded fund. What that means is professional traders or fund managers are using the money that they receive from you buying into the fund, and they're going to buy stocks, bonds, and sell and buy options as well in order to generate income. It's one of the switches I'm going to be making. I spoke originally about some of the individual stock funds that I was going to follow, and I'll get a little deeper into why later, but I'm switching to one specific one, ULTY. All right, that is YieldMax's Ultra Option Income Fund. All right, and it's a little bit different than their other ones, the ones that they use with the covered calls that I talked about yesterday for the individual stocks. Right, so this one does own actual shares of the stocks along with buying and selling options. So they'll generate income based on buying and selling options, but then also from the value of the individual stock going up as well, and if any dividends are paid. So it's a little bit different than the last one, right? And then again, just in case you're not familiar with them, option contracts are always for 100 shares. So anytime you see somebody has one option for something, it's actually a contract to buy or sell 100 shares of the underlying or the stock that the option is for. So to give a quick example of what we're talking about there, right? So right here, there's a Palantir put option, and I just remembered I was told to zoom in more. Palantir put option, actually 100 options, and the price was $1 and a little over 30 cents. So if you just went 100 times 130, that would just be, $100 or $100, $130. But that's also times 100 again for 100 shares. So then 130 times 100 would come out to 13,000. So sorry, that was not a smooth math. All right. So the reason to do this is if you wanted to trade these stocks on your own, you'd need a whole lot of funds to be able to buy and sell some of these stocks. Some of them are over $100 and $200 a share. So buying 100 shares of each of those would require a large portfolio, especially if you wanted to be diversified and be into multiple different stocks. So buying into the YieldMax ULTY Ultra Option Income Strategy Fund, you get the benefits of being able to trade multiple stocks, and you get the benefit of professional traders, people who do this for a living, as opposed to you. Because if you're anything like me, I usually make the wrong decision when I'm trying to buy and sell stocks on my own. Okay, and so just back into options, right? So a put would be a contract. So if you bought a put, you are buying the right to sell your shares at a given price, whatever you selected. If you sell a put, you are agreeing. It's the inverse. It's the opposite side of that contract. You are agreeing to buy the shares if they fall below a certain price. A call is just in reverse. It's if it goes up, right? So if you have a stock, it's $10, and you sell a call at $11, that means the buyer of that option, they bought a call at $11, would get to buy those shares from you for $11 in the future. So if the stock all of a sudden went to 20, they still get to buy it off of you for $11. So I think if you have any more questions, right, I'm obviously not the person to explain. So I would recommend you go over to Options with Davis. He makes great tutorial videos all about options. All right, so now what I alluded to earlier, I will be talking about the ULTY fund, ULTY, as opposed to all the individuals that I talked about yesterday. And that's after a conversation I had with the man himself, Mr. Retire on Dividends. He actually talked to me today, I'm sorry. Gave me some pointers, gave me some advice, and seems like the nicest guy in the world. So I really appreciate him talking to me. He was very helpful. So I'm going to be covering ULTY, and I've numbered them here. So they're into 26, maybe 27 different stocks or bonds at the time. There's only really one government fund out of this one here. So all the rest are different stocks. And so instead of doing the other things, we're going to just follow these. So these are the holdings. I downloaded the holdings, right? Put them all on a spreadsheet so we can look through them. And then I will be going through their trades on a daily basis as well. Now, for some reason, here's today's trades, and there are no trades under ULTY. So that part will be easy. We don't have to go over anything. So I will just explain what is being held in the fund and how it performed today. We're not going to go into every single increase and decrease on all the options. That would absolutely take forever. So I'm just showing you right here. Previous close is what the stock, for example, AST Space Mobile closed at yesterday. And then this was at 4 o'clock closing bell today. I've got the change. It went down a little under 1%, and the overall value change. So ULTY holds 225,000 shares in AST Space Mobile. They went down just under 1%, so that would be a change in value of about 43,000. On the flip side, they have a call for $26 that expires tomorrow, and it's most likely going to expire worthless. So this $20,000 is money that they're most likely going to keep. They'll probably close it out for like a penny. And on the other side, they're actually making money. So they sold a call and they bought a put. Kind of the opposite of what the other funds were doing. But so they have some sort of like a synthetic position. Actually, I need to learn my terms better. I don't know if that's a strangle or straddle. So basically, if it dropped below $19, they've got the right to sell for $19 because they purchased those. And if it were to go above $26, whoever bought these contracts from them would have the right to buy the stock at $26. Most likely, neither is going to happen. All right, next is Alibaba. They have 70,000 shares, and I forgot to mention they sell options and buy options based on the entire amount that they hold. I believe in every single one of these as I go through. All right, so they sold calls at 124, and the stock went up to 120 today. Small increase, but likely to get to keep all that money. They bought puts for $100. These are most likely going to end up worthless. They might get a penny or two out of them selling them back. And they made about $76,000 in market value on Alibaba. As far as Coinbase, the stock dropped a little under 1%, maybe less than or 0.75%, resulting in $73,000 loss in value. But if they don't sell, they don't incur the loss. Okay, and then they just have calls sold at 205 and 220. So the 205 is getting kind of close. The 220 doesn't seem like it's going to happen, but as long as it doesn't jump up over 205, it's going to be a nice win there on these. So these values are current. So that was the price at the close yesterday. So we don't actually know what they sold these for and what they bought the other puts for. As I move forward and collect more data, then I will actually catch the transactions as they happen, and then I'll be able to tell you actually how much money was made or lost each time. All right, moving forward. Carvana, they have 50,000 shares. Calls sold at 245 and 260. So the 245s are in the money. All right, so these are going to cost them money to close out. 260s, they're still doing okay. And then they have purchased puts that are nowhere near 180 and 195. So they're going to end up not being worth very much tomorrow. Oh, actually, these go out till the end of next week. So there's a little bit more time on these. So they must have closed these out in the middle of the week this week and pushed out till next week. All right. Talked about the fund there, the government fund. So they have $11 million in that. This is another difference from them with the other ones. These other funds hold a large percentage of money just sitting in T-bills and bonds, where out of the $230 million being managed with ULTY, only $11 million is sitting idle. All right. I'm going to try and pick up the speed just a little bit, get through these. First Solar made about $33,000 in value increase. The option of 130 is getting close. So that's actually a 525. So there's plenty of time on that. And the put at 110. So the stock's sitting right in between them. GameStop, this expires tomorrow. The stock went down about 1.5%, losing $120,000 in value. They have a call sold out for tomorrow at 29, so they should be getting to keep that money, and a put for 23 that'll most likely expire worthless. Hims and Hers went up almost 10%. They're one of the biggest gainers today, bringing in over $750,000 in value to the fund. And then they have a couple of options. They have sold a call out to the end of next week and another one to the end of the week ending in the 25th. So these are for 31 and 38. That 31 is definitely in trouble unless we get a little bit of a pullback. And 38's still in the clear for now. Puts purchased at $22 and $27. These are probably going to end up worthless. Not even going to get anything selling those to close them. Robinhood, these lost 5% today, over $500,000 in value. Their call for $52 sold, expiring tomorrow, is gonna end up being a winner unless something drastic happens, with the stock at $46, and the put at 40 similarly is going to end up being about worthless. IONQ is the stock I started to like a couple months ago. You can definitely make a lot of premium buying and selling options on them. So they've got a $30 call sold for the week of the 25th. And as of right now, it's sitting at $27. But if you know that stock, it could go over 30 tomorrow if it wanted to. And same thing, that 22 is not safe either. So this one, there's a lot of volatility. It moves quickly. All right. But today it lost $39,000 in value, about 0.5%. Mara Holdings went up 5%, resulting in nearly $500,000 value added. They have calls out to the May 25th for $14.50. Stock sitting at $14, so they're going to be watching that one closely. And $11 put, so that one's pretty far out of the money, right? $3 out of the money. MP Materials lost $36,000 in value today. Their call out for $25 expires on the 16th, so that's 2 weeks away. And it's not too far off, $25 compared to the $24. The $19 put, there's some distance on that. So they buy these puts. So if the stock were to go down, then the value of the put ends up going up. So they'll make some money there, and the calls that they sold will all end up. They'll get to keep all the money. They won't have to spend a lot of money closing them out. So that's the strategy there. Speaking of strategy, MicroStrategy, or just strategy now, they went up 0.39%, value of about $56,000. Their calls are sold at $385 and $387.50. The stock sitting at $381. It's getting pretty close, and their puts $295 and $300. All ending tomorrow. So next, Cloudflare, 55,000 shares. Stock went up about 1.5%, or nearly $100,000. Their 129 calls that are sold seem pretty safe, but they go till the end of next week, and their 100 puts, it's pretty far away, $22 or 22% away from there. NVIDIA closed tomorrow. 109 call, that is currently in the money by $2, so that's going to cost them some money to close that out. But they went up today about 2.5%, or $275-ish thousand. $90 put is pretty far away. Oklo Inc., 300,000 shares at that, nearly $7 million in it. It went up 10% today. I think they may be the biggest winner. So they made almost a little over $750,000. They've got a call for 25. It's currently in the money, and it's got a long time to go. So this one could end up hurting unless the stock pulls back, and the $19 put is losing value quick. Palantir, right? They have 132,000 shares worth over $15 million. They dropped almost 2% today, or almost $300,000. They have calls sold at 112, 114, and 130. The stock's sitting at 116. So they're two larger ones, 620 contracts and 600 contracts are in the money. Again, that's in trouble. At least these don't expire tomorrow. They expire next week, so they've got some time for that to come down. And then the 130's out to the 25th. And then the puts that go along with those are all pretty far out of the money. Reddit went up 1.8% today, gaining $116,000 in value. Their calls are sold at 130. So they have a call sold at 130. It's at 118, and then this looks like they own a call at 145. And a put at 104. That's a little bit confusing, because those numbers don't add up unless they just decided to spend the money to buy this call here. But they all expire tomorrow, and they appear to all end up expiring worthless if there's not a major change. RH, sorry, I'm not familiar with this one. They've got $3.8 million in it. It went up almost 0.5%, or $16,000 value added, with calls at 195, put 155, so the price is sitting right in between them. Super Micro Computers Inc., SMCI, went up nearly 3% today, gaining $117,000 in value. Their options are, again, that's an odd one, right? So they have a call sold out to the 25th, but their put still hasn't been closed for tomorrow. $27, that's going to end up worthless, and time will tell on the other one. Then we get into the daily Direxion daily small cap bull 3X. All right, so that one's a leveraged fund. They've got $9 million in it. It gained about 171,000 today. Their call is 27.50, and their puts at 20. It looks like it's going to end right in between those two. But on a 3 times leveraged, anything could get blown out of the water at any time. TQQQ, that's another fund, right? They have $13 million in them. That gained almost $500,000 in value off of going up today, 3.4%. They have call sold at 55.50, expiring tomorrow, and it's in the money, 56.77. So if that doesn't come down tomorrow, they're going to lose money closing that out. And their $40 put is pretty far off. That's not happening. So Tesla, we're almost finished. 46,000 shares of Tesla worth almost $13 million. They dropped about 0.5% today, or $75,000. Their $280 call is, they're right at the money right now. So depending on what Tesla does tomorrow, this could be a win or a loss. $210 put is pretty far out of the money. So as you see, it was only worth 4 cents at the start of the day today. So that's going to end up getting closed out about worthless. Upstart Holdings, worth over $10 million, lost about $25,000 today. They have a call sold at $51, expiring next week. Then they purchased another call for $64 next week, and they purchased a put for $36. Vertiv Holdings, they have $6 million value in that. Went up about $500,000 today with an 8.36% increase today. They have a call at $92. Again, it's right at the money, and it expires tomorrow. So depending on what happens tomorrow, this one could be a winner or a loser. And a put at $73. That's about worthless. Vistra Corp, they have $9 million in that. It went up almost 6% today, or $500,000. They have a call at $131, so that is way in the money, $6 in the money. So that's going to cost some to close, but they've got till the end of next week. And to put at $102. So the net asset value, so I didn't talk about this because it doesn't make sense, right? Somehow they have $865,000 of negative of cash or other. But when you total up all the rest of them, it equals the proper net assets that matches the website. So then this number of nearly $1 million change does not make it match. So not sure if that's what that is. We'll keep an eye on it. And today, the value of all the stocks that they owned increased by $3.6 million. So they're winning overall on their holdings, and it seemed like there was more often than not, I said that they were doing well on the options as well. All right. I think that's all I'm going to go over today. Also, I'm not going to try to include my trades in these because I don't think people are waiting all the way to the end to hear it. So I think maybe on the weekends, I'll just make a once a week and just talk about which trades I made throughout the week, if any. Thank you if you stuck around. Please comment. I know I could do a lot to improve, so I can take the criticism if you want to give me some pointers, what to change, what to stop doing, what to do, or if this is what you're happy just collecting the information. I know I'm not exciting. I'm just here to give you the information so you don't have to dig for it and put it together. All right. Thank you. Have a nice day. Talk to you tomorrow.